Click the links to join the channel here over at SubStars right now over at Odyssey. So this guy, I don't know what his name, John Walensky or Wazinski or something. This is the guy who's talking about his privilege, like this is 2014 or something. And it feels like these game designers who have been working on this game for 8 years have not kept their finger on the pulse of the culture war. Things have moved on from this Trump derangement syndrome 2016 type of era. So this woke girl power diversity game and body diversity as well fails to find an audience. Shocking, I know. So that's the guy who believes that European people must acknowledge their privileged position. No. And then actively work for equality. Well, you can't because people aren't equal, no offense. And claims that judicial system is European people being Ubermensch type of stuff. That just sounds like Frankfurt School nonsense, probably because it is. It's just all bullshit cancer that is like 5 years at a time, that whole push. People are moving to the right pretty openly, pretty quickly. So the thing SJWs pretend not to understand is that none of this is happening in a vacuum with the background culture war, and perception is reality when it comes to the customer deciding to buy something or to save their $40, which is, people point out with this, they look at this and $40 and it's like, so we're going to get like a woke lecture from a bunch of anti-white globalists on their privilege and why didn't you just make this, I don't know, free to play with microtransactions or something? And the game designers, all their tweets are public. People see that they're SJWs, and then they see obese pox lesbians in games, and obviously there's zero interest in something like this. And purple lipstick. You know, you're going to see a massive change in Hollywood and video games in the next few years as eventually they run out of other people's money. And we don't have to beat around the bush. An obese POC is not going to sell. And the reasons don't matter. You can attack the person saying the message all you want. You can ad hom, straw man. It doesn't matter who the person is who makes the message. That's the reason this stuff isn't selling. This is just never going to sell to people. And it's bizarre that you'd think otherwise. And not even to give people the option of the characters they want to play. People want beautiful characters. Attractive people attract people. That's been known in advertising for a long time. And not all bodies are beautiful, and whatever body diversity bullshit nonsense you believe in, be cognizant of the fact that if you're an SJW who claims to believe all that stuff, you're in a shrinking circle of people who claim to believe that stuff, and even you don't believe that stuff because you're not. These people aren't looking for, you know, unattractive people in their own personal lives. So the thing is, if you swapped out the POC for some hot blonde people at a Aryan Central casting, you'd be on the right track, because that's what the world wants, whether it's in movies or video games or comics. That's what the customer wants. And the customer for video games is going to be male, probably East Asian, at least globally, and then European. So what they want is within a very limited window, and it sure as heck is not this. It's a game that you draw. There's no reason to make ugly characters or ones that are going to be perceived as woke, where a POC female now is 100% associated with woke. It's going to be a brand killer, whether it's games or movies. You're not going to get out from that association, because when the correlation is a straight is one line on top of the other line, the Venn diagram's a circle with female POC characters, and then you add in obese female POC characters. Yes, that's certainly going to be woke, almost by definition at this point. And the reality doesn't matter. You can look at Disney Star Wars. How well did the Acolyte do? It did horribly. And Ahsoka is another POC character, also did horribly. But Disney had to give it a second season because they had to save face. They couldn't have so many shows that only went one season. The Mando did well. I think the Mando is their only show that got audience support. And people go, oh, Andor Star Wars was good too. Yeah, but it didn't get audience support. And then you have, Acolyte, Ahsoka, I don't know what the other ones were. And those just failed right out of the gate. And the other thing is, like, I mean, to kind of get off on a tangent, but it's related, where you have the Obi-Wan character, and there's some POC girl working for the Empire or something, and there was some criticism about it, and the best thing you can do when you're in Hollywood is to ignore it. Don't pour oxygen on it. And instead, he gets in his $200,000 AMG or whatever the hell it is, and he starts lecturing the people on, we don't want you as fans if you're criticizing this character. People just look at that and go, oh, challenge accepted. And what happened? It absolutely bombed. So the thing is, this level of obese POC is a few years too late. This is like Safe Space and I don't know, what was that guy, Twinkle or something, kind of energy from who was that guy who did a YouTube video trying to sell the Safe Space characters, and people are looking at him like, you guys are living in your own world, and you're just like smoking DMT or something if you think that this kind of 2016 cancer is going to sell. People are openly mocking this stuff, and I mean, I'm saying as much as I can on YouTube. You know, maybe I should just do like an unfiltered Rumble Odyssey video, because it's you're not going to make the male characters want pox fat women. They want Lara Croft, so give them Lara Croft or lose money. The skinny girl with ridiculously big boobs from the 90s, that's what the audience is on board with. It doesn't matter if you look at it, and it's a little ridiculous. If you go back to that, you will sell to your audience, because that's what they want. Angelina Jolie, she did a movie, and they picked the most beautiful girl, the skinniest girl with the biggest boobs, jawline, and cheekbones that they could to play that role. And she, for what it was for the movie, it was a pretty decent job. It's a video game movie. I don't expect too much. And instead, now you're getting, Indiana Jones. What was that last one called? No. You understand? 5 movies. So yeah. 3 out of 5 are fighting the dudes from World War II. I almost said the bad guys. The Hugo Boss from World War II. Yeah. But this time, it's time traveling Nazis. Oh, is this current year? Because it sucks. Yeah, nobody saw that movie either. Way to go, Indiana Jones. Way to end a series. He doesn't care. He probably got paid $40 million for it. So POC obese, that's not a big seller. So let me go to this other thing. Here's the weird thing with SJWs who are trying to sell stuff, but they don't seem to understand the concept of not pissing off the customer base. Because there's a lot of mental illness. There's a lot of participation trophy generation energy with these people who are just so narcissistic and self-absorbed. And they've been in an echo chamber with other toxic far left-wing people for so long that they the She-Hulk girl, where they're doing the interviews and they talk about like owning the chads online by making something deliberately crappy, and it doesn't do well. It's like, you're in a business, right? You have to sell a product and hopefully get a second season. All you had to do is make Ally McBeal with a Hulk character. How hard was that? Ally McBeal was a bunch of beautiful, skinny people. Yeah. Give them that. No, we're not going to do that. Well, I mean, what do you expect happens? So, don't piss off the customer base online. Not as many people agree with this Marxist nonsense as they seem to think. But that's the benefit of being in an echo chamber, is you really have no idea how out of whack how far away you are from your actual customer base, who is mostly male and mostly probably East Asian and European. So one of that designers, that John Wazinski, whatever, is talking about his privilege. Nobody believes in that stuff. By now, people know it. Oh, that's just Frankfurt School stuff. That's just Saul Alinsky. That's just Moses Mordecai Levy, the Bolshevik school nonsense. That, like, people know what that is now. It's not. This isn't some mystery that's kind of taken half seriously. People they hear all that woke stuff and they just discount it. That's that umbrella term of calling things woke, and the Klaus Schwab and the DIE stuff. People know what that is now. It's not. This isn't like you don't have some shroud of secrecy anymore. It's been 10 years since they've been pushing this stuff, and now people are kind of fighting back on this kind of stuff. If you're free to insult people of European descent then they don't have privilege. That's by definition. But if I mention a few other groups, I would get instantly kicked off of YouTube. That's real privilege when you can't even be named and don't say anything in the comments. So that John Wazinski guy is spouting all this Frankfurt School insanity, but he doesn't seem to notice that when he puts those tweets out there, he doesn't get any likes or any interaction on his tweets, because this isn't 2015. That woke vibe is way over. The Anita Sarkeesian and the Zoe Quinn and the feminist frequency. It's like, oh, they finally shut their doors. It's like all you had to do was leave comments open on their YouTube channel, and you'd make enough money in interaction and advertising to pay a staff to run that channel. You would have been doing, but they couldn't take any criticism. So they turned off comments and they turned off, downvotes and whatnot. So the channel died because nobody was watching it. People want to interact with things and they want to crap all over things. So I'm openly telling you that people want blonde or red hair, blue or green-eyed, hot people at a Nordic central casting type of thing. Pox doesn't sell. Body diversity really doesn't sell. The woke BLT stuff doesn't sell at all. And I only say such outlandish hyperbole because of the staggering lack of players on this game sustain the statement. You can see on the charts, it's a very... You need, 10 times more, 100 times more, probably more like 100 times more players on a game. It's such a massive monkeypox failure that even the woke game writers can't understand why it only has 500 people playing. Once again, like, you probably want to take notes on this. Obesity, pox, female. That's the reason. And they hear that and they go, oh, you're just istophobic. But that doesn't change the reality. Calling, like the person who says the comment, that's what the concept of the ad hominem doesn't matter. You're not attacking the argument. Those are the reasons that people aren't buying these comics, these movies, because they perceive it as woke. Even something that's not necessarily, like, what was that movie I reviewed a couple weeks ago? I don't know if it was Furiosa or the Marvels movie, where it wasn't actually as bad as people as it was perceived to be. I think maybe it was the Marvels. But the perception was, oh, well, you've got 3 females out there and there's 2 POCs. It's going to be woke. No, there's no interest in it because the association now the well has been so poisoned for so long that you're just not going to go swimming in those waters anymore. And the movie wasn't that bad, but it absolutely bombed. And I mean, there's so many other of these bombing movies over the past 5 or 10 years. So there's some woke backstory in here as well about fighting intolerance, except obviously the call is coming from inside the building. Nobody, Karl Popovic and his theory, but then when you start actually thinking about his theory, you go, oh, none of this makes sense. Like it's the argument is defeated as soon as you make it. So it's $40 to play a game with anti-white characters made by anti-white designers. And keep in mind, it's the perception that matters, not the reality. Though in this case, it's going to be the same thing. And as well, you see with this Szynski's guy's tweet is he does not like people of European descent for some reasons. He was rambling on about the Proud Boys and some other group, which is not. I mean, all that kind of, like, nobody cares about any of that kind of stuff, but nobody believes it anymore. So the reason for this is dear God, thank God you included pronouns. The background culture war. People don't want. Here's the thing: if you just see the hair, people are go, I'm out. Oh, you're so istophobic. Yeah, but you're not getting $40 for a character like this. It looks like it was a fever dream of Neo in the Matrix. Current affairs are telling them that these sorts of people hate them because of their ethnicity. If you want to make females in the game, then the audience wants hot, skinny blondes with big milkers. It really doesn't matter why they want that. Oh, they're a bunch of Chad incels. Hugo Boss. Yeah, that doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is, are you getting the $40 or not? That's the reality on the ground. Though the Wukong game where I guess you play as a monkey, I don't have any video game. The only thing I play are car racing games. That's doing pretty well, but they went out of their way to say, hey, we don't want any feminist stuff in this game. I guess it was a Chinese developer. They're not on board with that kind of feminist nonsense for good reason, which drives the Mary Sue types crazy who are I don't know what they said. The wrong people are liking the game, and this game needs inclusion. There's room for it. Yeah, well, not all games are for all people, right? What happened to that? No. Every single game has to be globalist, diverse, inclusive, equity propaganda. But we disagree. We just have a different worldview than you. We're not globalists. We're nationalists. We're tribalists. We're becoming more politically incorrect every day, and more people are feeling comfortable looking at this kind of stuff and going, "Oh, you people are the problem." Hold on one sec. This guy's the problem. The customer's not the problem. It's the people making this stuff and getting on and tweeting about their privilege. We're not the problem. We're freaking awesome. We always were awesome. We never were the problem. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thanks to everyone who signed up for SubScribe, Star, and Odyssey. And I will see you guys all next episode.